Welcome back to Watergum Online. My name's Emily, and today I'm going to be telling you all about Watergum's Cane Toad Challenge program. The Cane Toad Challenge is a revolutionary new form of cane toad control that uses the toad's own toxicity against them. Through a combination of tadpole trapping and toad busting activities, members are able to really impact cane toad numbers. So before I get into the Cane Toad Challenge program itself, I'm going to tell you a bit more about cane toad history, how they got to Australia, and why they're such a problem. Australia's cane toad problem began in 1935, when 102 cane toads were brought over from their native Southern America. The intention was that they would breed them and that they would help to control the cane beetle, which was wreaking havoc in the sugarcane industry. Unfortunately, this was not a well thought out plan. The cane toads were completely ineffective at controlling the beetles. The adult beetles were way too high in the sugarcane for the toads to reach them, and the larvae would only appear at the time when the field had been cleared, and the cane toads didn't want to go out into the field to eat them because they were too exposed. So this didn't work. However, what cane toads were very successful at was breeding and spreading throughout Australia. And from those 102 that were brought over in 1935, it's estimated that there are well over 2 billion in Australia today. They are well established in Queensland, the Northern Territory, WA and New South Wales, and worryingly, we're now starting to see them pop up in ACT and Victoria as well. So there are three particular attributes to cane toads that have allowed them to become the massive problem that they are in Australia today. And I'm going to go through all three of them right now with you. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is toxicity. Cane toads are highly toxic. You may think it's just the adults, but it's not. They're actually toxic at each life stage, from eggs, tadpoles, small toads, right through to adults. And there's actually a different level of toxicity per each life stage. Because of their toxicity, cane toads present a very real threat to all of Australia's native wildlife. And they've actually had significant detrimental effects on certain species, such as goannas and quolls, which attempt to eat cane toads and then die as a result. Their toxicity also makes them dangerous to our pets, particularly dogs. I'm sure you're all aware of the danger to dogs, but they're also a big problem for the agricultural industry. The second issue with cane toads is their huge appetites, and their particular favourite is dung beetles, which causes big problems for the agricultural industry. When cane toads eat all the dung beetles, and some can eat up to 200 a night, this allows parasites to breed and causes diseases to spread to crops and animals. Their huge appetites also cause big problems for native species. When cane toads move into an area, they monopolise the food and eat everything. This causes native species to be completely displaced and decline as a result. And it also allows cane toads to completely take over an area and breed even faster. The third issue with cane toads is their extraordinary breeding capacity. Each female can lay up to 35,000 eggs per clutch, and she can have 2 clutches per year. So that's 70,000 babies produced by one female cane toad. And the males will mate with multiple females. So the rate that they can breed is really staggering. But don't worry, all hope is not lost. Some native animals are able to prey on the cane toads, such as the keelback snake, which is unaffected by the cane toad toxin and specifically hunts them out. You've also got water bugs and other macroinvertebrates, which are also unaffected and like to prey on eggs and tadpoles. And then there's some species of birds and rodents who have learnt to carefully avoid the toxic parts of the cane toad and still eat them and survive. Although this is very encouraging, it's not enough to have any impact on cane toad numbers. It's down to us, the Australian people. We need to work together to control cane toads and really impact their breeding capacity. So now I've told you all about cane toads, how they got here, and why they're such a problem. In the next section, I'm going to tell you all about the Cane Toad Challenge program and what you can do to help. So I've already told you that the Cane Toad Challenge is a revolutionary new form of cane toad control. But how does it actually work? Well, it began when scientists started observing cane toad tadpoles to see what they did, and they realized that they were predating the eggs of other females. After further investigation, they found that what was attracting the tadpoles to the eggs was the female's pheromone scent. They were then able to replicate this process by extracting the pheromone from the adult's parotoid glands. They then added this to a slow-release capsule or a lure. And when we place this lure in the trap, it attracts all the tadpoles in and they just stay there. The other really important part of the Cane Toad Challenge is toad busting, which is collecting the adults and removing them from the environment. Toad busting is a very effective form of cane toad control, and it's important that you do it in conjunction with your tadpole trapping activities. That way, you're targeting every life stage, and that's what makes this program so unique. Remember, every female that you take out of the environment is potentially 70,000 future toads that you are also removing. So that's why it can go a really long way, and you should be starting to do it as soon as you can on your properties. Toad busting is also an extremely important part of the Cane Toad Challenge program because we need those glands to produce more lures. Watergum has a very strict humane euthanasia policy, and we require you to use the most humane method currently available to the general public, which is the fridge freezer method. So this method requires you to put your toads in the fridge for a period of up to 24 hours. This makes them go into a comatose state, and then you can transfer them to the freezer. Please stick to the fridge freezer method, especially if you plan to donate your toads to the Cane Toad Challenge program. Any toads that have been killed with chemicals cannot be used for lure production. There are some other things that you can do to control cane toads, as well as collecting the adults and tadpole trapping. So one of them is to prevent toads from getting to the water. Toads like easy access water. They don't want anything difficult. So something like these lamandra make it impossible for toads to get through. They simply won't bother. You can also check your waterways regularly for eggs. Eggs will be in there for 3 days, and if you find them, pull them out, because that is the easiest life stage to control cane toads. And don't forget, the cane toad challenge is also lots of fun, especially when you go out at night toad busting. You're going to see lots of amazing native wildlife. So before you start your own cane toad challenge, it's very important that you know how to recognize a cane toad and ensure that you're not accidentally culling native frogs. Now, there are over 230 species of native frog in Australia, and they all look different, and you will never become familiar with them all. So the best way to ensure that you're definitely removing cane toads is to become very familiar with cane toads and what they look like. Thanks so much for tuning in to Watergum Online. For more information on cane toads and our Cane Toad Challenge program, go to www.watergum.org. See you later!